Welcome to the Trail Running Briefing, the podcast for trail runners who want to understand their training and run better. Each week, one clear idea to help you train smarter, stay durable, and perform when it matters. Episode 16. Recovery, the training you don't lock. Most ultra runners are good and at doing more mileage, more climbing, more strength work, more races, more data, more gadgets. But here is the question: what if the thing limiting your performance is not your training, but your ability to recover from it? Because fitness does not improve during the session itself. Training creates the signal. Recovery is where the body adapts. And this is where many runners get it wrong. They treat recovery as something they add at the end. A massage, compression boots, red light therapy, or a recovery drink. But recovery is not one tool. It is a system. The real question is not what can I buy to recover faster? The better question is, am I giving my body the conditions it needs to absorb the training? The core idea is simple. Recovery is the bridge between training and adaptation. Training creates stress. Recovery turns that stress into fitness. If you train hard but recover well, your body adapts. You become stronger, more durable, more efficient, and better prepared for long races. But if you train hard and recover poorly, the same training can become a problem. You may feel flat, heavy-legged, irritable, unmotivated, sore all the time, or stuck at the same level despite working hard. Eventually, this can show up as niggles, illness, burnout, or underperformance. This is especially important in trail and ultra running because the stress is not just cardiovascular. It is also muscular, mechanical, metabolic, emotional, and logistical. Long descent damage the legs. Big climbs create fatigue. Long runs deplete energy. Poor sleep reduces repair. Work and family stress add load. Life does not sit outside training. It becomes part of the total stress your body has to manage. So, when we talk about recovery, we need to stop thinking only about recovery tools and start thinking about the 4 big levers. The first lever is sensible training. This means protecting easy runs, planning deload weeks, respecting race recovery, and not turning every session into a test of fitness. Easy runs need to be easy enough to support the next session. Deload weeks are not signs of weakness. They are part of the training process. And after a race, especially an ultra, recovery is not just about waiting until the soreness disappears. Muscle damage, nervous system fatigue, sleep disruption, and emotional fatigue can last longer than we expect. The second lever is food. You cannot recover from training that you don't fuel. Protein support muscle repair. Carbohydrate restores glycogen and supports the immune system, especially when training volume is high. Fats support general health and hormone function. For ultrarunners, fueling key sessions properly is not just about performance during that session. It is also about reducing the recovery cost afterwards. Athletic performance and recovery are influenced by appropriate energy, carbohydrate, proteins, fat, fluid, and micronutrient intake. The third lever is sleep. Sleep is probably the most powerful recovery tool available, and it is free, although not always easy to get. Sleep supports physical repair, immune function, learning, mood, decision making, and hormonal regulation. For ultrarunners, this matters because fatigue is not only in the legs, it also affects judgment, pacing, food choices, and motivation. Expert sleep recommendations for athletes consistently point to sleep duration and sleep quality as key parts of recovery and performance. The fourth lever is stress management. This is the one runners often ignore. But stress is stress. A hard work week, poor sleep, family pressure, travel, emotional load, and training all draw from the same recovery budget. Your body does not separate training stress from life stress as neatly as your training plan does. This does not mean you need a perfect life to train well. Nobody has that. But it does mean your training should reflect reality. Some weeks you can push. Some weeks you need to consolidate. Some weeks the smartest training decision is to protect consistency rather than force progression. Now, what about the other recovery tools? Sport massage, compression garments, pressure boots, cold water, red light therapy, and similar tools may help some runners feel better. Some evidence suggests massage and compression may reduce perceived soreness or fatigue, but the effects are usually modest and not always linked to meaningful performance improvements. A large review found that massage appeared useful for reducing delayed onset muscle soreness and perceived fatigue, while compression could help perceived fatigue, but these tools should be seen as secondary rather than foundational. That distinction matters. There is nothing wrong with using recovery tools if you enjoy them, can afford them, and they help you relax, but they cannot compensate for poor training structure, under fueling, 5 hours of sleep, and high life stress. This is what runners usually get wrong. They chase recovery hacks while ignoring recovery basics. They use compression boots after turning an easy run into a tempo run. They book a massage and eat after long hours. They buy devices but sleep too little. They take supplements but they refuse to take a lighter week. The better approach is to build recovery into the plan from the start. That means easy days that are genuinely easy, hard days that are fueled properly, recovery weeks before you are forced to take them, sleep treated as part of training, race recovery planned with the same seriousness as race preparation, and life stress consider when deciding how hard to train. In real training, this might look like reducing volume every 3 or 4 weeks. It might mean taking 2 or 3 very easy days after a demanding downhill session. It might mean eating more carbohydrate around key sessions rather than trying to train depleted all the time. It might mean going to bed earlier instead of adding another marginal recovery tool. And after an ultra, it means accepting that recovery is not just about when you can jog again. It is about when your body, mind, motivation, and tissues are ready to train productively again. Use a HRV device and make sure your figures are back on track. So the practical question after every training block is not only, did I do the work? It is also, did I recover enough to benefit from the work? Because in ultrarunning, long-term performance is not built by the runner who can suffer the muss in training. It is built by the runner who can repeat good training consistently month after month, year after year, and recovery is what makes that possible. To conclude, do not ask how much training can I survive. Ask how much training can I absorb. That is the difference between short-term effort and long-term progress. Recovery is not laziness, it's not weakness, and it's not something you only think about when you are tired. Recovery is part of the training plan. Protect your easy runs, fuel the work, sleep as well as you can, manage life stress honestly, then use the extra tools, massage, boots, red light therapy as optional support, not as a foundation. The sentence to remember mid-run is this: fitness is not built by the training you complete. It is built by the training you recover from. That's today's trail running briefing. Understand your training, apply it on the trail, and run better.